Hey everyone, it's Janine. Welcome back to my channel. And today's video, I am going over a quick Road to 50 update. If you're new here, my Road to 50 is a series I've been documenting for a while now on my road to my 50th birthday. That is January 28th. I'll be 50 years old. And over the summer, I decided that I wanted to come in at the best shape of my life for my 50th birthday. In order to do that, I embarked on a journey of first building muscle strategically, gaining weight on purpose. I documented all of it here in the series and I went through that for 4 months. And then I entered into a 12-week cut. I am now 10 weeks in to that 12-week cut. And in this video, I want to give you an update and tell you guys where I'm at, how I'm feeling, what's been happening. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'd like to report that strength is holding, which is great considering I am in a calorie deficit. Recovery has been good. And honestly, the biggest changes lately over the past couple of weeks have been more mental. So there are definitely some things I want to get into a little bit later in this video. I have encountered as I entered into the fat loss phase of my journey. But before we get into that, let's go over the nitty gritty, the data. I'm a data girl. And so you have not gatekeeped any information through this process. Let me open up some of my notes here. Okay, we're going to go over my pictures as well and my progress and where I'm at. Week, I fluctuated a lot, which before we get too far, I'm going to pop a QR code up on the screen. If you're not already following me on Instagram, follow me over there because I'm doing a daily weigh-in on Instagram every day until my 50th to really showcase how crazy the scale can be and how it goes up and down. And just like the mental side of that through the build process of this journey, one of the most unexpected things that happened for me was I finally got over my fear of the scale. Used to be petrified of stepping on the scale. I would like put one toe on it, and if it looked like it was going to be bad, I would jump off. It would dictate my whole day. Through the process of building and deliberately gaining weight and weighing in so often, it desensitized me to that noise. And I'm hoping that sharing those fluctuations and sharing this journey here so far on YouTube will help you guys as well. Because there's nothing worse than when scale has a chokehold on you. It's just data, and it's good data if you release the emotions from it. So I've been doing daily weigh-ins over there, and you can follow me there. You can follow along on those. And also, Instagram's just a better way to interact with me because you can send me a private message if you have questions about your own journey and we can have a private conversation. This week, it was kind of noisy. I call it a noisy scale because it went up and down every single day. High was 117.5 this week, and the low I hit was 115.7. So as you can see, it's almost a 2-pound fluctuation. And for the most part, it stayed on the high end as well. It showed me 115.7 only on Saturday, the day I took my pictures. Every other day, it was going up and it was floating around 116. My waist measurement as well, it got up to as much as 24.75. But as low as 24. At this stage in my fat loss, the kind of data is just more reflective of sodium, of glycogen, inflammation, and very little to do with fat. So I'm losing very little fat at this point. We're kind of like nearing the end here. Average calorie intake was 1,675 calories, and I kept my protein at 120 grams. I talked about it in last week's episode that I was going to try to trend my calories down a little bit. Previously, I'd been kind of higher, closer to 18. So I did do that, although not that much. But it was very particular and strategic about making sure that I was getting in a good amount of carbs about an hour and a half before my workouts. So like 50 grams of carbs about an hour and a half before my workouts, so that my workouts did not suffer. And that made a big difference. So my workouts this past week were excellent. They were really good. I felt really strong. I didn't feel depleted or drained. I honestly feel really good at this phase in my fat loss. If I was starting to feel run down or getting some biofeedback, poor sleep, poor mood, I would probably just call it at this point because I feel pretty good about where I'm at, but I feel good. So I can keep going. I want to squeak out a little bit more fat loss. We're going to get into that in a bit. Average steps were 7,000 steps. So I was going to try to aim for my 8 to 10 for this whole cut. But to be honest, because of the rain and the weather and just my busy life, faltered a little bit there. But again, even with those steps, seeing results. So I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at pictures. So I'm going to pop them up on the screen. First, let's do the first row. I have to do it in 2 rows now because I have so many pictures. So this is, if you're new here, you can kind of like began the whole thing. 130.2 was the end of my build. Started my build at 120.5 pounds, but I was kind of body fat on me at that point. 130.2. And then as you can see each week, those are the weights that I was on the day I took the picture, not like the weekly average, because let me tell you, it did not. I know when you look at these weights, it looks like, oh, wow, you were losing weight every week. That must have been so encouraging. When I weigh in every day, the scale bounces around like crazy. So it did not feel that way. I can tell you that. And then definitely things got a little more sticky these last few weeks. But as you can see, up until this week, the last 2 weeks, it showed a stall on the scale, even though I was still seeing change. Very minimal change, though, as you can see. It's even as much as from a few weeks back, you can see it's just very minimal. I would say this past week, I felt a shift in my body composition. I felt, even though it was probably the stickiest week weight wise, my weight only hit the 115.7 on the day I took the pictures. Every day after that, it was up to 116.8 and was floating around. I felt the leanest that I've been. Actually felt saw the biggest change in my legs, the cellulite. You can tell if you look at the pictures, the leaning out of my legs, and just my stomach was tighter. Just everything kind of just tighter at this point. Lower stomach, definitely felt some fat loss out there. And then I took a picture a couple of days. So it's Tuesday and I just took this picture. So it's basically me now. I did pop up on the scale. You can see with a different bikini that's a little more figure flattering and a pose, kind of make yourself look a little better. But I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good right where I'm at, but I'm just going to see this process through because that's what and I decided to embark on a 12-week cut. I was going to stay on that 12-week cut unless my biofeedback told me otherwise. It's still saying I'm good to go. So I'm good to go and I'm feeling really good. So that is where we landed. I'm not going to make any changes this week. I feel really good with the changes I made last week, being particular with my carbohydrates, with the timing of my carbs. A little bit lower on the calories, but not too much lower. And, okay with the steps, still aiming for 8K. 8K is kind of like my maintenance steps are going to be anyways when I reverse. So I'm kind of getting ready to gear up the mindset for the reverse diet and everything that's going to come in a couple weeks, but I still got a couple weeks left. I got 2 more episodes officially of this Road to 50 series. And this brings me to something that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I've experienced on this fat loss phase of my journey. I think it's important. It's important to talk about. I'm kind of an open book. I'm very direct. And so I wanted to share. I've been an open book through this whole process and received a ton of support going into my build. Posting about it on various social medias, here on YouTube, tons and tons of support. Nobody was concerned that I was weighing in and documenting my weight going up and sharing, my feelings about that and all of that. I got, lots of support, which was amazing. However, when I transitioned into the cut, I felt a shift in a lot of the messages I've been getting, personal direct messages, comments on the videos that I usually go in and delete because I don't like the negativity, or I will respond because you catch me in a moment. But fat loss triggers people. I don't know what it is, but fat loss triggers people. And the hate usually isn't about you. I'm not taking it personal. I feel like negative comments towards my fat loss journey are just drumming up emotions in that person. Perhaps a lack of belief in themselves and their ability to maybe pursue something different, which that's what I want to get into. And that's why I did this series, to show you guys what's possible at any age, at any stage. You can do this too, but you have to believe it. And critiquing or being critical of somebody else's journey, name calling, not going to help you. It's not going to make it feel better for you. You have to look within. And I wish you could see this content as a support in showing what's possible and something that will help instill that belief in you. Because I'll tell you this, you have to believe that you can do it before you can do it. You have to truly believe in yourself and you have to commit. And then you have to have this mindset that's like, oh, I'm doing it and I can't wait until I get to the finish line because I'm so confident in my ability to do it. Then the strategy, that's the easy part. The right strategy and just executing on the strategy and you got it. It's yours. Whatever it is that your end goal is, it is yours. I've gotten comments. I'm sorry, pulling up my notes here. I've gotten comments questioning my health, my hormones, my age, my motives. I've been called narcissistic. I've been called obsessed, unrealistic, that I'm dangerously skinny, that I'm giving off that I'm sending a bad message. It's been wild. It's been absolutely wild. But I'm not angry about it. I have to remove myself from the situation and stop and think it's more about them than it is about you. And then it makes me sad because I feel like the people that are having a negative feeling about it, it's because deep down they struggle within in creating that belief. But I want you to know that that's the whole intent of my content is to help instill that belief in you that if I once looked like this and now like this, then you can do it too. I'm not doing anything extreme. I'm not unhealthy. I'm doing this in a very strategic, safe way. I'm not in an extreme calorie deficit. I've done everything in my power to show what a healthy build and fat loss journey looks like. And there's always just going to be people that it bothers, and that's okay. It's just funny because every once in a while I do slip and I just get caught in a moment and I'll respond in a snarky way. And I try not to do that. I try not to do that. The truth is, fat loss challenges identity, it challenges comfort zones, it disrupts the narratives that people use to protect themselves. Let me explain it. It's kind of when we don't think we can achieve something that we deep down we want, we build this wall to protect ourselves. And the wall is to protect ourselves by convincing ourselves that we can't have it. It's not possible for us. And so that's the wall of protection. So you don't want it because it's not even possible. But the wall that you build to protect yourself, that very wall, is the one that actually imprisons you. So my goal is to help people break down that wall and believe what they can achieve, that the limitations are self inflicted, they're not the reality. And that's exactly why I did this series to begin with. I didn't want to secretly do this process and then come out in my red bikini and have everyone questioning, how did you do that? What are you doing? It's what I wanted to avoid. But I guess you're always going to have that regardless, even though I documented pretty much every single day of the whole process. For a lot of people, it's safer. It feels safer to believe that fat loss at this age or in midlife or after menopause is impossible than to question their actual part in the matter, their habits, their consistency, and their effort. So when someone seemingly proves otherwise, it feels threatening. And I think that's what I'm encountering. I try to prepare a lot of my clients. I have some clients on some pretty amazing transformations who've encountered similar situations on a lower scale. Obviously, it's a little more amplified for me because I'm on social media, but you're going to encounter that even in your social circles, your coworkers. And I definitely have to help them through that process because it's difficult to navigate when you're feeling that kind of negativity on something that you yourself are so proud of that you've been able to accomplish. The most important thing is you don't need to engage with it. You need to stay grounded in your why and do not let anybody's opinions or their own feelings take you out of that. I've learned that I don't need to convince anyone. I don't need permission to pursue my goals, and neither do you. Our job is to stay aligned with our visions and our health, regardless of how uncomfortable it might make people feel. My question is this: where are you holding your limiting beliefs? Do you feel like you've built that wall? Is it something that you're willing to let me help you break down? Because break down that wall is holding you back. That wall is a prison. And I want to break you out of the prison. That's why I documented this whole series. Listen, my whole series, this whole process, this road to 50 was never about perfection. It's about proving what's possible when you stop letting other people's feelings and beliefs dictate your choices. I'm staying the course, and I hope you do too. If you're on your own journey and trying to unlearn some of these beliefs, you're not alone. If you want my help on that journey, and you'd like me to be your coach and coach you through the entire process, help you break down those limiting beliefs, create a strategy that is effective but sustainable, and get you on the road to your journey, scan the QR code up on the screen, fill out an application, and I'll see what I can do to help. I'm offering a special just for people who come from this video. All you need to do is on your application, write Road to 50 or YouTube or something that this video sent you, and you will be given a $500 credit towards my program. And that is it for today's episode, you guys. Sorry we had to have that discussion, but we'll finish strong with 2 more episodes. We'll see where I land. My birthday is officially 15 days away now. And so it's been quite a ride. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of my journey. And if you haven't checked out the whole series, I'll definitely link the entire series. You could watch it from the beginning. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.